So I said it before, Japanese pressings are always superior in a way.
What we do here is go back.
Hello friends and welcome to my new video. I'm back on YouTube after 2 weeks and the title already announced it. I received a nice package from Japan and I'd really like to share my latest Japanese additions to my collection. And this time I had to wait over 7 weeks for the package to arrive. It took some time at the German customs and all this tax process took a really long time, but I'm glad that I finally received it and I can't wait to share which records I got today. Let's go! Alright, let's start. So I said it before, Japanese pressings are always superior in a way. There are always a good alternative for audiophile pressings, and if you can find them, I would always recommend to buy them. And I already talked about the different reasons in the last videos. It's the sound quality, the cover quality, the production quality and the general feel overall. And today's video is mostly about, I would say classic albums. You know, when I started collecting a few years ago, the first music or the first records that I collected were actually classic albums. Big hits more or less, and actually I'm fed up with that. I have so many great classics and I love them, of course, but there is way more music than the big classics, you know what I mean? But nevertheless, when I can find one of my favorite albums for a good price or in a great pressing, I can never leave it, so I always have to get it. So the first album for today is a Japanese pressing of Led Zeppelin 4. One of the most famous albums in rock music history, of course, everything has been said. But, you know, I already have 2 other pressings, but a nice Japanese pressing of Led Zeppelin 4 is something I'm always interested in. And of course I also have the reissue from 2014, and I also have a German 80s, late 70s reissue. And I have to say, I didn't compare them yet, but the remaster sounds fantastic. On the other hand, the Japanese pressing has the better gatefold cover and is thicker. I mean, collecting different pressings of the same album, you shouldn't go too crazy on it, but sometimes, I mean, when an opportunity comes, you just have to jump on it. Another big classic album that I still missed in my collection, the Jimi Hendrix Experience, Axis Bold as Love. Also, Japanese pressing, great fold-out cover, looks fantastic in the Blake sleeve, and I have to say, this is it was released in 1967, and this is this classic, US psychedelic rock. I love it, and to my mind, when we're talking about Jimi Hendrix, the 3 big albums, Are You Experienced, Axis Bold as Love, and of course Electric Ladyland are the 3 must-have albums that should be in everyone's collection. And this is, as a Japanese pressing, it sounds breathtaking, I can tell you. I know that there is a classic records version, but I'm totally satisfied. Also released in 1967, this is Jefferson Airplane, Surrealistic Pillow. This is also a Japanese pressing. It comes with the Japanese lyric sheet and all that kind of stuff. And I said it before, but I mean, that's funny. I ended up having 1, 2, 3 different copies of this album. So this is the very first US pressing on the RCA Victor label, including a deep groove and everything else. I got a Japanese stereo edition from 78, and I also got a Japanese pressing from the late 80s, which is a little bit different. And it's really interesting to see the differences and to compare those pressings. I mean, we're talking about comparing them on a very high level, but obviously it's still fun. And I know that there is a MoFi copy of this was just released, but you know, they are asking 79 €79 for a MoFi copy of this album in Germany at the moment, and I mean, that's insane. So the Japanese pressings are a good way to go. I mean, they're a great alternative, and I'm totally satisfied. Yes, some more classic stuff from the late 60s. I think this was released in 1968. Of course, it's Big Brother and the holding company, Cheap Thrills. Janis Joplin. Here's a beautiful picture of her. And I have to say, Janis Joplin. I had my problems with her solo stuff. Of course, she only released this one album, etc., etc. But I never listened to this album, and I got the chance to find it quite cheap. So I just said to myself, only the cover art is even worth it. Maybe it's good. So I bought it and I listened to it, and I was blown away, I have to say. I really like this album. Of course, the iconic cover art is also part of it, but musically it's so, it's for the time it's so heavy, and you can really hear her energy on the record, and very cool. The next one was also an upgrade, more or less. This album is called McDonald and Giles. It's a band by former members of King Crimson. Very rare album, actually. It originally was released on the Pink Island label. This is a Japanese pressing, gatefold copy. This is a German pressing on the Pink Rim Island, also a gatefold copy. And the first difference you see here are green letters, and on this pressing are violet letters, purple. And what can I say about this album? I mean, that's great progressive rock at its best, actually, and I love it. It has this little kind of obscurity in it, and to my mind, this is also a milestone. Maybe some of you know it, maybe some of you don't know it, but I can highly recommend it. If you like, the 70s progressive rock from the UK. It's a must-have, and if you like King Crimson, of course, it's also a must-have. More classic albums. This is Derek and the Dominos, Layla, of course. Even has the Obi strip. And by the way, I said it before, but when I see a Japanese pressing and it has the Obi strip, I'm totally fine with it, and I'm happy, and I'm even willing to pay a few bucks more. But on the other hand, a lot of collectors say, oh, it's so important to have the Obi strip, I only want a copy with an Obi strip. So then I say to myself, it's if the record is missing the Obi strip, it's a good way to get it a little cheaper. And often the Japanese pressings I buy are cheap or cheaper because the strip is missing. And actually I really don't care if it's missing, because the album is still the same. So I'm not this kind of super collector. But anyways, let's talk about the album. Eric Clapton, of course, you can hear what kind of alcohol or drugs the musicians used or took while they were recording, and I mean the voices. I had to laugh when I was listening to it. But it's a great album, of course, blues rock, classic stuff, and it also should be in everyone's collection. I love the cover art as well. Very famous album. Same for the next one, Supertramp, Breakfast in America. This can be found in every €1 bin as regular pressing, actually, and I decided to buy a Japanese pressing, and I paid $14 for this one, including the Obi strip. Unfortunately, the record is crackling quite a bit, but maybe I need to clean it a second time. Of course, the logical song is the famous track. I'm not a super diehard Supertramp fan, but I mean, this and their debut album are definitely the highlights to my mind. Let's continue with the 80s. This is Bruce Springsteen, Nebraska. Also, of course, a Japanese copy, and it was still sealed when I bought it. I just opened it yesterday to play it, and the Obi strip is right here. And there was a discussion in the Facebook group that Japanese records weren't sealed back in the day, and to my mind, that's not true. As far as I know, in the late 60s and 70s, yes, they were not sealed, but in the 80s I have various albums that still have the shrink, and this was actually my first Japanese pressing that I got still sealed. yeah, also has a lyric sheet and everything else. This is actually my favorite Bruce Springsteen album. Nebraska, his kind of acoustic guitar picking, and I mean, he's a great guy, the boss. More 80s stuff, also a classic album, The Police, Synchronicity. I was just listening to some Sting a few weeks ago, and then I said to myself, maybe this album needs an upgrade as well. So yeah, I bought it. Of course, Every Breath You Take is the most famous track, and I have to say, even those 80s albums sound so good as Japanese pressings, because in Europe or also in the US, the pressing quality, or let's say, not the pressing quality, but the quality of a standard album in the 80s wasn't that good, and sometimes the Japanese pressings are really superior. I mean, this was released in 83, so the CD wasn't there, but for all late 80s US album, to my mind, that's a true fact. I also bought some soul. This is Sam and Dave, Hold On, I'm Coming. Big soul classic with the funny cover art. This also has the obi strip, and there was this Soul Age series in Japan in the 70s. I also have some Aretha Franklin from this series. It has a Japanese back lettering, and a great album overall. And I mean, my soul collection is growing and growing. I'm also happy that I can add this classic, Percy Sledge, When a Man Loves a Woman. Also from the same series, Japanese back lettering, and also a very nice album. It was released in the back cover says 72, but I guess it was released in the 60s, of course. And I still got two records. This is the Allman Brothers band, Brothers and Sisters. Also gatefold cover, very nice, heavy quality. I still didn't listen to this one yet. I also have a German pressing somewhere, but I'm pretty sure that the Japanese pressing beats it. Released in 1979, I think, and also a classic album, classic cover art. And last but not least, this is some surf rock, of course, by The Ventures, and it's just called Surfin Deluxe, and this was, I think it's a compilation, and it was only released in Japan. This is quite rare, even as a CD, so it has all the big hits like Apache, Walk Don't Run, House of the Rising Sun, Wipeout, all played in this surf rock West Coast style, and this is actually a very nice summer record. But of course you can also play it in the winter time. Well friends, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to like, comment and subscribe. Let me know which Japanese pressings you have in your collection, and if you like to collect them, or if you think that I'm wrong with some things that I said. And yeah, I will be back soon. I also have some 90s music again and various other stuff. So have a great weekend. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.